Good morning. Like Josh said, my name is Wayne Wrzesinski, and like most people my age, I've been around for about 41 years. I was born to my parents. What? It's
They caught up.
okay. It's true. I grew up in a home with loving Christian parents. They raised 3 boys. God bless their souls. Like I have one boy and he's 12, and I don't know how my mom dealt with 3 of us when we were teenagers, but she did. Just always around church, involved in church. I remember in 5th grade, I took a class so that I could know enough to be baptized. It was a great class. The teacher wasn't that attentive because one day I stabbed myself with a pencil in the thigh and it broke off. But it's not lead, it's graphite. It's still there. I don't think it's causing any serious problems, so that's good. Baptized, loved Jesus. In high school, I volunteered with the middle school ministry and on the worship team. I actually started playing drums because one week I was playing guitar, and our drummer, who was also like 16, could play guitar and drums. And he was like, "Hey, can you drum?" I said, "I don't know, let's find out." So I sat behind the drums and did really bad that week, I'm sure. But started drumming, served in churches, enjoyed that. Spent 6 years in the Navy. And like many young people, when I was 20, that first year and a half in the Navy, wouldn't say that I didn't believe in God, but I was living like I didn't care that God was there. But I knew I always had people praying for me. My parents had been at this church since before that time, so people in this church praying for me while I was off being a 20-year-old ding-a-ling and not serving God. But found my way back to church, living for Jesus again. Met my wife when I was in the Navy in San Diego and talked her into moving up here to the rain and the cold, mostly because it costs too much to live down there. But so we've been here. We've been at East Hills off and on for the last 6 years or so. After the Navy, I worked at the railroad, working night shift, went to Multnomah during that time and got my degree in leadership and ministry. So that was, well, it took a little while, but I eventually got my degree from Multnomah. And actually started coming to East Hills about the same time that I was in and out of jail, because I worked there and my schedule was so that I didn't always have Sunday morning off, but there was a Saturday night service here. So that's actually why we started coming to East Hills. I'm still serving God, volunteering in churches, and really seeing God's faithfulness through that. And about 60 years ago, ended up being the youth and associate pastor at a church in Ridgefield. So we left East Hills, took a job on staff there, put our house on the market, and our house stayed on the market for 9 months while we were at that job in Ridgefield. Then that job ended, and our realtors never sold our house, which I'm pretty sure was God and not our realtors, because after that in Ridgefield we came back and I was the interim youth pastor here at East Hills. And then I got a job as youth pastor in Hillsboro, and the same realtors sold our house in 3.5 days for $20,000 more than we asked for it. So I don't think it was the realtors. I think it was God being faithful. That job in Hillsboro ended a couple years ago, and we've been back at East Hills, and we love East Hills. And through this all, we've seen God provide. When I was without work for months in between those pastorates, we're not the kind of people that had money in the bank to get us through months without a job, but God provided. When we've had big decisions ahead of us, God has provided wise counsel and good friends for those conversations. And we love East Hills. We're excited to be back at East Hills and just investing where we can here. Through all of this, Jesus has been my rock and my anchor, and I'm looking forward to what he has in store for me and my family and this church family.